and the director of the Austin Micro Film Festival and the Austin Comedy Film Festival, two completely different festivals that are both going to be ending their seasons at the fall 2022 seasons for this year. And we're excited for both events. November 5th will be at the Southwest Theaters. On November the 8th for Austin Comedy, we will be at the Austin Comedy at the Austin Film Society Cinema. Sorry. The 5th will be Southwest Theaters for Austin Micro, and the 8th will be Austin Comedy Film Festival at Austin Film Society Cinema. A lot of Austins in there. So one thing both of these festivals have in common, and both of these events have in common, is we've got one film that's in both, and I think that might be a first for the season. That film's called Curtains Down, The Last Rod, and we are joined by Ryan and John. Excellent work on this film.
Thank
How
you.
guys doing?
Thank you. Doing well. Doing very well.
We're doing great. Thank you.
All right. Well, it's good to have you. So you've got an award nomination for Best Acting Performance, John, in Austin Microfilm Festival.
I know. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll take it.
Man, that's high praise right there. You know, when you've got yourself a couple hundred films to choose from, you finish top 5, you know, you're doing something right. So
yeah, yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And the judges also love the film overall, the comedy film. Its second award nomination at Austin Micro. And at Austin Comedy, totally different group of people, totally different assessment. The Best Editing Award nomination.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, good stuff. Well, let's get into it. Can one of you guys give me the synopsis of the film?
All right. So it's you want to do it? Yeah, you say it.
Basically, the film's about this Broadway star sends out an inadvertent email, which then sends him on a journey of self-discovery.
There you go.
I like it. So let's get into this thing creatively. And I'll start with you, John. Why this film? Is this something that you wrote, or is this something that you looked at and said, I can't wait to do this?
No. What's funny is it was done in pieces. It wasn't done all. It was literally done in like my side free time. After the pandemic had started, I had time and a little bit of money in the bank account, and so I bought a camera and I started teaching myself how to make movies. And I did made one movie prior to this, and then it got some good reception. And so I was like, well, let me make something a little bit bigger, a little more involved. Ryan and I had recorded this song, Put on a Happy Face, by itself. And then I thought, well, maybe that could be something. And so I just wrote the very beginning, a small little 1 minute, 40, maybe 1 minute part. And then I was like, all right, now what? Maybe I could make this into something larger. So then we filmed another portion of it. And then I was like, okay, this feels like it could have some more to it. And so I was just I didn't know how it was going to end myself. And it sort of just came to fruition. The only thing that I didn't want, because it was a fall from grace story, I didn't want it to be like a sappy, learns his lesson in the end.
Gotcha. All right. Well, definitely didn't get that feel from this at all. Very good work on it. And let's talk about this, Ryan, the edit. I mean, obviously a lot went into that. Was a collaborative process between the two of you? Who took the bulk of that?
I have to say I was a little bit more involved on the creative side. Technically, I have no idea what's going on still. But John really got in there and learned a lot about editing. I learned a lot about filmmaking and just camera photography. And I still don't understand any of it. But I'm just along for the ride.
Well, Ryan, what was creatively? You wanted to get involved somehow. So what were you thinking? Why was this a cool project to you?
Yeah, like John said, the pandemic happened. We both work on other people's stuff all the time. And we just kind of had this idea like, hey, this is a good time that we can, put our stuff out there. I did a little thing called the Bedroom Broadway series where I basically dressed up in costumes made of cardboard and performed Broadway musicals. And so I was kind of going along that same path with the when we recorded Happy Face. I love the contrast of something that's maybe beautifully shot, but then ridiculously acted, or beautifully acted, but then ridiculously shot. There's something that speaks to me about that contrast.
Okay.
Yeah, so like, and also, I just wanted something with some tap dancing. I'm a tap dancer, so I was like, all right, so I got to do some tap dancing. Oddly enough, though, prior to this, a buddy of mine was talking, said, "Oh yeah, you should make something where you play the piano." And I was like, "All right." And then this is what it came out. And I don't do any piano playing. As far as the editing is concerned, I had hooked up with this guy named Sven Pape, who he teaches. He has this YouTube channel called This Guy Edits, and I recommend him to anybody. If you want to learn how to edit, go to this guy, because he didn't edit my film, but I did have him take a look, and he sort of said, you could. There's plot here, and then you could maybe shave this part off. It could be a little bit shorter here. He gave me these suggestions, and after that, it just woke the whole thing up.
Especially as a creative type, I think we have the tendency to self-indulge and want to let something breathe, sometimes even more than it needs to. So it's always great to have a second set of eyes to look at your content, and tell you where to really focus. And you still got to push back sometimes and let it breathe in places, but it can be so helpful just to have other people look at your stuff and give you perspective.
Yeah, because like I've went to a couple film festivals, and like the one thing I did not want is it to drag. I've seen something that's just like drag. Like, how long do you have to take to tell us that the place is haunted? Like 30 minutes? No. So I was like, well, when I do something, I would like it to be fresh and just not drag. And anyway, he helped with that.
Well, let me tell you, that is the number one reason that films do not get selected to film festivals is slow edit, and people don't know when to cut. And so the judges, when they see something that runs smoothly, they have a lot of respect for it, want to put it up on screen. I mean, production, everything. I mean, you got a whole flavor to your film. It's nothing like any film in either festival. So, that just goes to show that you guys came up with a unique product and just kind of a fresh approach to everything. And it begs the question, we talked about, the little technical, we talked about a little creative, but now we got to talk about the future. You guys did a great job on this. What's next for you?
Well, I wrote this thing called, another short called Subada. And just like this last one, I'm just learning how to shoot stuff. So I'm like, this next one involves cars. So, an easy thing, just rig up some stuff to cars and shoot it in New York City. So that's what we're going to do next. Yeah.
We've also talked about taking curtains down and maybe expanding it and turning it into maybe a micro series.
Yes. Yeah, that's an option as well. That, or like, the thing is it could also be a live play too. I thought about that. I haven't told you that yet, but
I love live theater.
But I think it could be a live show too. I mean, because it's got tap dancing, it's got comedy, it's got, it's a live show. But yes, turning it into a series would be pretty cool.
All right, good stuff. Well, it's been good to kind of get the backstory of this film. I think the judges are impressed. I think the audience at both will be very impressed as well. Kudos to you and your accomplishment. If people want to get a hold of you, what's going to be the easiest way to do that?
They can find me on Twitter or Instagram at John F. Hebert, Hebert. And then Curtains Down the Last Rod also has a Facebook page. So they can find me, but it's easier to find me on Twitter.
All right. Well,
you can find me on just type in Ryan NYLA in Google, and my Twitter comes up, my Instagram comes up. my TikTok.
All right. Well, we got some links in the description to help people find you. Is there anything else you want to add before we go?
No, just thank you, Austin. Thank you, Austin Micro Film Festival. Thank you, Austin Comedy Festival. I appreciate that. I got my plane ticket. I got my hotel. I'm coming down.
We're just
All
very
right,
excited to be involved, guys. Thank you.
Looking forward to meeting you both, and appreciate the kind words about the festival. Thank you so much.
Thank you.